Hi everyone, I'm Tech Bob and welcome to eTech Facebook Live Fridays. Today I'm talking Tesa tape. Tesa tape's the recommended adhesive our repair team uses and what we recommend to customers as far as a all-in-one type adhesive. What I have in front of the camera today is the three most common widths that we use. This covers iPads, phones, and on the phone side we're talking iPhone, Android phone, Samsung, you name it. We have 1 millimeter, which is the thinnest width. We have 3 millimeter, which is in the middle, and we have 6 millimeter. These three widths should really tackle any type of need you would have for your repair. Now, the cool thing about Tesa is it virtually adds no thickness to the part you're adhering to the device. So whether that be a battery, a screen, a back cover, it basically adds nothing. And just as a quick demonstration of that, so I have a caliper here. It's reading at zeroed out right now. I'm going to take, this is my 6 millimeter width roll. I'm going to put that in between the caliper. It's reading at 0.24 millimeters in thickness. So again, very, very thin. Originally, red tape was the go-to, and there's nothing wrong with red tape. We use that every now and then too, but red tape's a little bit thicker, and we find that in certain use cases, it doesn't work the best. iPads are a big example of that. You have to have virtually the same thickness as the OEM adhesive for an iPad screen to sit right on the frame, and Tesa adhesive does provide that. Now, aside from its other applications, I have an iPad frame in front of us today. I'm going to install some adhesive on this iPad just as a quick demo, show how to use it and what size we recommend where. Now, the very first thing when applying Tesa tape anywhere, really any adhesive, is to make sure you have a clear surface that the adhesive can bond to. If you have old adhesive residue left behind or shards of glass or anything that is going to prevent that the stickiness of the Tesa tape from grabbing on, not having a clean surface area, it will affect its bond, and it can lead to things like screen lifting or part coming loose in the device, and that's a warranty that no one wants. So to quickly demonstrate how to apply this, we're going to start on the bottom end down here, the device. I'm just going to take the 6 millimeter adhesive. What I'll do, I'm going to start on this inside part, and you try not to cover areas that weren't covered in adhesive before. So I'm going right to where it gets thin on the frame, going to the edge, and then this is another item that we recommend getting with any type of adhesive. These are technically referred to as thread cutting scissors. They use them in the sewing world, but they're great for cutting adhesive. They are very, very sharp and can easily cut the adhesive. So I'm going to cut a little bit of an angle right there so my adhesive stays inside the frame. A tip on these, if you have some and you find that the adhesive is getting stuck to the blades, applying a little bit of oil or even a little bit of WD-40 here. Don't leave a whole lot on there, but a little bit will cause that adhesive from sticking to the blade so it doesn't get gunked up either with that adhesive residue. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to cut off that angled part so I have a flat end. Again, I'm going to start as close to the home button as I can, about right there. Go over and cut at an angle. And this doesn't have to be exactly perfect, and you'll get better at cutting the adhesive. The scissors make it quick and easy. Another method for doing this, if you let the adhesive overlap the frame and you have something like an X-Acto knife similar to this or an angled blade, you can actually just cut inside of the frame and have that perfect curve, but this will do just fine. iPad won't lift or have any issues. I now am going to switch to my 1 millimeter width adhesive. This is going to be for all your thin applications. So right here at the bottom by the home button. So it's a little hard finding the starting point, but once you get it started, it's easy to reapply. So I'm going to put that down here. And it is important to put adhesive everywhere because if not, you'll either end up with lifting or you'll get the fun scenario where if the customer pushes on the screen a certain way, you'll get a weird like popping sound or it sounds like it's sticking and letting go. And that's because adhesive is holding here, but not here where you didn't put it. So it's important to put it there. And this is actually an iPad 7 or 8, I believe. This one doesn't need the 3 millimeter size. You can actually do it with 1 and the 5. But certain iPads will need that 3. I believe the iPad 5, if I'm not mistaken, will need that. And 3 is the good middle point between the 5 millimeter and the 1 millimeter. So it's easy to get that and use it in different cases. So now I'm going to take my 1 again. I'm going to do it along the side. So I'm going to get the very top up here, as close as I can. Then roll it down the edge. And you can use your finger to stick it to the surface. The other option is using a spudger. So I have one here too. You can take the spudger after you've laid it down, roll over it. I'm going to cut it down here. And then since I have the 1mm in my hand, I'm going to do the same thing on my other side. Again, it's a pretty quick application to apply this adhesive. And as I said, it's universal. So you can use this on iPads, Surfaces, Samsung tablets, you name it, because it provides the same thickness to virtually everything you apply it on. And then the last one, I'm going to apply the strip at the top up here. I think I did need to check. Yeah, we are good there. Sometimes if the adhesive is going to come close to covering a sensor, like a camera or a proximity sensor, something like that, you need to be careful because you don't want it to prevent the sensor from not working, which, yeah, that's just a microphone up there. So we're going to do this 5 across the top. I'm going to cut it. And this right here would be just fine for your adhesive install. Couple of things to take note. If you have adhesive that's overlapping anywhere on top of the frame, make sure you trim it a little bit, or you can just tuck it back down in there. You just don't want it to get gunked up or raised because then it'll cause an issue with thickness. You can apply extra adhesive in certain spots like this corner right here or this corner. I do not recommend applying adhesive on antennas or anything that's a flex cable, because if you do have to open it again for some reason, you will most likely tear that cable. But this right here is a good example of how to apply adhesive to a frame. Speaking of Tesa tape, these are the roll side of things. Our iPad digitizers actually all come with Tesa tape pre-installed. This is, the use case for this type of part is more for a DIY or someone that's really doing a lot of these iPads. You just peel the protective paper off. The Tesa's already there. In the repair world, I mean, we've been at this for over 10 years. Our preference is to apply the adhesive to the frame. We just find that it provides a better bond. Not saying this won't bond well to the frame. We just have a preference for putting it on the frame like this. The Tesa that comes on these is great, works well. In regards to getting the best result out of your Tesa, I mentioned one thing, which was cleaning the frame. A second thing would be to kind of activate it, which would be heat. So the way that would work is I would finish this iPad, basically install everything, peel off my paper, lay my screen down, make sure it's fully seated. You can clamp it for a little bit too, but if you put it face down on a heating pad, what it'll do is that heat will help melt that adhesive, and then you clamp it, and while it starts to dry or cool down, it'll help bond better because it makes it stickier than it originally was. So just another tip for getting it to really bond there. And again, these are all the rolls we recommend. We have everywhere from 1mm to 12mm, I think, in width for the adhesive. Sorry, it's a tongue twister to say multiple times. The wider adhesive is usually used for things like MacBook repair or iMac repair, where you really need a wider tape to adhere that big screen or that border, whatever bigger use case there is. But these rolls right here are recommended for more on the tablet and phone repair side. Now, quick thing, all right, so I showed, this was an iPad 5 digitizer example, and this is an iPad 7.8 digitizer example. Again, just two different examples with Tesa tape installed. Again, great to get them like this because it's easy, a quicker install versus having to install it on the frame. All right, so now what we're going to do is move over to our website. Scott's going to pop our website up on the screen. As a bonus for today's stream, if you're subscribed to our email campaign, you should have already got the email. We're doing 30% off select adhesive tape and accessories. So that's showing in a banner. But if you're trying to find adhesive in general, if you hover over the tools section of our menu bar and then go down to where it says adhesive and tapes, we have it organized by different categories. So we have Tesa tape, we have red tape, pre-cut adhesive, and liquid adhesive. That should take care of any of your adhesives needs that you may have. Now, for the deals, we're going to go to that banner that's on the website as well. If you click on that banner, it'll pull up all the items that have the 30% off sale applicable to them today. If you're noticing right now there's no discount, you have to add it to your cart. Once it's added to your cart, it'll show that deal. Now, we have a couple bonus items in there. So those thread cutting scissors, we actually have some 12 packs in there for a really good deal already. Red tape is included in there as well, some liquid adhesive. If you scroll up to the top a little bit, Scott, you'll notice there's some Kapton tape in there too. That one's not so much to adhere thing, it's more to protect things. Scroll down a little bit right there. So we have the 3 widths of Kapton tape there. That's heat-resistant tape used really in the micro-soldering side of things, but still on the tape side. So we have a discount there if you need to pick some up of that. But that's all I had for today's stream. I guess I just wanted to highlight our Tesa tape assortment. And again, if you're not using Tesa right now, you're using something else like red tape or 3M tape. Tesa's been the most reliable and consistent for us, so that's what we recommend to any repair shop that may be looking for a good adhesive tape. And especially right now during the summer and the hotter months, we see an increase in warranties due to lifting when good tape and good tape install procedures aren't followed. So make sure you're using good tape and make sure you're using the tips I talked about today to where you don't have those screens lift up on you and you don't have a warranty on those repairs. So that's all I have for today's stream, guys. One quick thing, we have our next 2 topics already lined up. If you have not seen the Facebook events, next week, so next Friday, we'll be reviewing our buyback program. That's a great one to tune in on if you ever sent in a buyback and it wasn't the outcome you expected, or you just aren't sure what to send in. We're going to cover all those bases to make sure that when you do send in a buyback, you have the best outcome possible, because that's what everyone wants. And then the following Friday, we're going to go over a common requested one, which is, how do I open an iPad without damaging the screen? And the case for this one is, say you're doing a battery-only repair, a charging port on an iPad, but the screen is 100% intact. In most cases, you're either charging the customer for that screen because you're replacing it, or you're breaking the screen on accident and taking that hit. So we're going to go over the method for avoiding that. But just to get quick preview on what's going to come in the next couple streams, I hope everyone has a great weekend, and we'll see everyone next Friday. That's it for today. Tech Bob out.